Hello everybody, this is toysareruss, and for this special third-party figure showcase and review, we're going to be looking at this rather crazy looking figure here. This is of course a very stylized, but we can still make it out to be a jazz figure. So what we're going to do, we're going to of course be comparing him with his original Generation 1 self, which we've got both modes here ready. We're of course going to be having a look at him compared to just, again, I've got both modes ready, the normal, I suppose, Generations version, and I've got a couple of other different masterpiece figures from other different companies, just to give you an idea of scale and size of him. But before we get started, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button for me now, please. And also to thank jezzy, because that's where this came from and they got it to me quickly and safely. Before we have a quick look at the actual figure, let's look at the box. Now, this is from Bingo Toys, and the reason why I ended up looking at this is because they were supposed to have done, and I pre-ordered it ages ago, a missing link Grimlock, but that still hasn't come to fruition. And since then, this has, and this just looks kind of interesting. You can clearly tell it is a jazz figure, but as I say, it is a very, very stylized. It kind of reminds me of Kang Toys, to be honest. I'm not sure style what it is it? I mean, I don't think it's IDW. You guys can let me know in the comments, or do you just think it is something which, like what they've gone for, incredibly just their own version, just their own original version perhaps? Right, so what I've done is I've done something slightly different. He does come packaged in robot mode, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off in alternate mode, and this is, I'm going to call it powered up, armored up, whatever you want to call it. This is with all of his accessories attached, so this is the craziest he's going to look. But in all honesty, I think he does need some of these things on, and you'll see by what I mean by that in a second, because if I start to take everything off, it doesn't, I don't know if it's just me being overly critical, I don't think it looks that great, in all honesty. Now, yes, you can tell it's jazz still. It looks all right. I'm not saying it looks awful, but I think with the addition that's just clipped out of all of the accessories, it actually works really well for it. It makes it look really, really good. As I say, it's definitely some form of stylized type of jazz vehicle. It is 100% not a Martini Porsche, obviously, which we can see there. And if I get rid of these just for now, and of course it's massive compared to these. I mean, the size difference is crazy, but as I say, you've got all the homages. You've got the number 4 on it, which is great. You've got the stripe all the way down. You've got the spoiler. I'm now realizing that my G1 Jazz isn't as white as I thought it was. And again, you can attach some of the things to the roof. What I like about it is the translucent plastic for the window. I'm one of these people who actually likes that. I also like the fact you can't see too much regards with what's going on inside. The wheels are very cleverly all pinned together on 4 individual pins, but the center bit is, you see, the wheel spins around the center bit. So when you attach the blades to it, of course the blade doesn't spin around. So that's nice and clever. In honesty, I don't know. I'm going to try. I just had a thought. Let's have a look. Are these blast effect compatible, or is it too big? It looks like it's just a fraction too big, in all honesty. Let's see if I can just grab this bit here as well. No, it is. It's a little bit too big, to be honest. As far as I'm aware, these don't actually fire anything out. No, they're completely still. But the detail on it is really good. It's just, I don't know, maybe it's a little too crazy for me. But it is what I would class as masterpiece sort of scale and size. That is, that's Ocular Max's, not Blades, Groove. Blades is at the side, that's why I said that. Blades is there. So again, it's hard to get the scales right, isn't it? Of course, you can't have a helicopter the same size as a car, and vice versa, etc, etc. Here's some G1 figures just to give you an idea. Well, sorry, not just G1, Optimus Prime figures I like to use to give you an idea of scale and size. I know it's masterpiece, but again, it just gives you guys exactly that, the idea. So you can see it's clearly way, way bigger than these pretty large Voyager class figures, to be honest. Let's have a quick look at some of the other details. This is like a metallic reflective red, which is quite nice. The bumper and everything, it does clip together pretty well. There's lots of panels, lots of things moving. The transformation process is a little bit too much, but I could perhaps just be being a little bit over the top. I will do my best to get a tutorial put up, and you can put, yeah, okay, there's slightly visible head syndrome there. It's quite clever, and there definitely feels to be some die cast in it because there is quite a bit of weight to it. But I think you can also start attaching you know, the parts other way around. I'm sure you can. I've seen us. Oh, that's it. It'll go here on the back, won't it? There we go. So you can put these up on the roof as well. I like the fact that you can do this. I love the fact that you can do this with, you know, Hasbro toys as well. I say this with any company. If you can just start randomly attaching stuff here, there and everywhere. By the way, these attach on the spoiler via that, I suppose, industry standard tab for when you've got him in robot mode. So the speakers look pretty good, to be fair. As I say, we've seen these on here. I would imagine that if you wanted to, you could attach them. Yes, you can, to the front. So does that mean that you can attach these to the back? You can. I didn't think you could do that, but I think you can fold these up. So yeah, you could, by the looks of this. Look, you can attach the guns to it as well. We've got some crazy combinations there, which again is what I really love and makes things fun. But to be honest, guys, there isn't really much more to say about this in this particular mode. It's a very strange looking jazz. Right, let's come back and have a look at him in his robot mode. So we're back and he's in his, to be honest, guys, this will probably make you laugh. I've just not totally changed my opinion, but within the last 10-15 minutes of just, I suppose, having a good quick play around with this, I've not changed it, but as I say, I've warmed to the figure, shall we say. This is his robot mode. This to me does look very good. Now, the reason why I'm sort of saying this is because at first, while I was transforming him, I just sometimes get these terrible masterpiece, and not just all third-party vibes, you know. Sometimes, let's be honest, the masterpiece transformation processes, sometimes they're just complicated for complicated sake. I genuinely do think that it's just them, or the engineers in some way, sort of trying to show off how sort of clever they can be. This is just to give you an idea of some sizes and some scales whilst I'm doing this quickly, guys. So yeah, normal masterpiece, quite a bit smaller. Obviously nowhere near as big as what Optimus Prime was, nor as big as what Soundwave is. So I don't really have too many masterpiece figures for the reasons which I'm just explaining now, to be honest. I like to be able to just pick something up and not necessarily have to work it out. I don't want it to be super simple, but like I said, I don't want it to be overcomplicated for overcomplicated sake. And I thought this initially, when I was getting it into the alternate mode, was a little bit like that, but getting him back into robot mode and just sort of seeing him, have a look at him and working out all the things that you can do, yeah, my opinion, I'm thinking he's a lot better than what I initially did, to be honest. It does a very clever job of covering up loads of the gaps and tucking things away without me breaking any nails, without it being, as I say, too ridiculous. So let's have a look at the articulation on him at first, and the detail in the head and the front. So that is obviously Jazzy's head sculpt. It will turn all the way around, it will look up and down as well, it'll even move backwards and forwards, but that is of course only for transformation purposes. The doors are on these sliding hinges, so you can literally slide them up, down, you can spin them around on this. These are multi-positional, multi-articulate, whichever words that I think you want to use with that. You can also turn them back completely out of the way if you want, which of course then means that you can spin the arms all the way around. These can also come out to give you a full T. There is a shoulder swivel there, there is a bicep flexion. You can see there is a brilliant definite ab crunch going on, ab rock, ab tilt, everything going on in this midsection, which is absolutely nothing to do with transformational purposes. It is a genuine, probably one of the most impressive on a transforming figures ab crunch I've ever seen, to be fair. I've seen 3-0 do some amazing ab movements, etc., but of course they don't transform, whereas this guy actually does. And yeah, it's yeah, as you can tell, it's growing on me. The more and more I'm having a play around, the more and more it's growing on me. So I would presume, oh no, that's separate. I was going to say, I presume we need to shift that, but we don't. Full trunk rotation, no problem there whatsoever. Articulation on the fingers is brilliant. You've got articulation at the knuckles, you've got the thumb as well. And of course you can spin the wrist, which is great. These hip skirts to the side, which give you, there's so much range of motion with these guys, because what you've got is you've got this. How can I angle this so you can see it better? So you've got this separate hinge as well. So not only is this going to move and kick forward, on this hinge here, this will swing all the way around inside that space as well. So the range of motion is huge. Their thigh swivel is there as well, which you can see. The full knee bend is there as well, which you can see. Ankle tilt, rock, toe tap, you can maneuver all of these around. That's where the metal is, that's where the die cast is, in the feet. So yeah, as you'd expect, super articulate, fully articulate, full masterpiece level. And in fact, I'm thinking, I'm just going to quickly pick up my Prime. I don't even think the MP44s midsection, no, it's nowhere near as good as that. Yeah, you've got the articulation, you can move around, but you saw with that one there, you can do everything with him, and he didn't snap in half. He's not going to snap in half. It wasn't transformation. I may have slightly just unclipped that. Oh no, I haven't. But either way, it held together, and it held together brilliantly. And again, this is him as basic as you're going to get him. What I mean by as basic as you're going to get him is I've got all of these accessories still to attach as well. But before we do that, very quickly, I know different toy lines, but again, as always, the reason for this is most people own at least one Optimus Prime. So that is to give you an idea of the scale of him. So of course you've got Commander class on the right, there is Siege, that funnily enough is Jinrai, which is another masterpiece obviously version of Optimus. We've already seen MP44. In fact, I've got a movie one here as well, which I didn't even realize that I did have. There is a movie Optimus, and then the last one, why can't I find him? There he is, that's who I was looking for, is the Earthrise one himself there. So as you say, definitely huge, much bigger than any pretty much leader class figure that I've got knocking around. Okay, he's a bit bigger, but he's not as tall. But again, different leagues, different posabilities, different companies, etc, etc. Let's move these out of the way. So he looks great. We've seen his articulation. You can, if you wanted to, you can attach these to the back of the forearms. I'm not sure which way you want to do it. It's up to you. So you can have them. I've chosen the second just to put them that way. That, I suppose, beefs him out a little bit more, which in fact I think it looks all right. You can as well, if you wanted to, you can get the guns and you can fold one of the handles up and then you can join these together. So you've got, again, that's what I mean by industry standard masterpiece, I suppose, connections, where you just rest, it just fits inside a cutout, to be honest, and you can see you don't even need to clasp the fingers around it. So there's like a twin gun. I believe you can probably do the same with the swords. Yes, if you wanted to, you can give him twin swords. I'm not going to though. I'm going to have a quick look at the back of the box, to be fair, and just see which sort of poses that they've gone with. I'm liking the swords. The swords tend to work. I want to see if I can work out if I can put any of them blasters over his shoulder. I've just realized of all the figures that I've been messing around with, showing you and doing comparisons with, I have of course completely missed out G1 Jazz and indeed Generations Jazz. I was going to bring in all the other Jazzes as well, but I think again that might be a little bit of overkill. They look pretty good together. Let me just have a quick look at the box, which is there. Oh, it's saying you can attach the swords by the looks of it to the hips as well. So let's have a look at where they're going to go. Yes, I can see definitely where they're going to go. See, you've got the circular cutout there, or the circle hole rather. So that means that can fit. This is definitely growing on me, guys. The more and more that I'm having to play around with this, this is definitely growing on me. And it's also getting me a bit excited for the Bingo Toys. What's the word I'm after? Grimlock, which is what I said at the beginning. Right, so I can put a blaster in his hand as well. Which, if I move his thumb out of the way, I can put a blaster. Move the thumb slightly down. Is it going to reach? It's just me making this awkward now. It's good, as I said, we know that it fits in. It's probably because that's on as well, and because I'm reaching around in front of a camera. There we go. If I just in fact, that looks like a trigger finger. That's brilliant. Let's see where this would attach at the back. Aha, there you go, guys. There you go. Can you see that cutout there, that hole? We can then pop this handle straight in there. This is brilliant. This is actually genius, and as you can tell, I am clearly very impressed with it. So let me just pop this back on the forearm. I really don't think there's much more to say about it as well, otherwise I'm just going to literally sit here playing with him, put him in loads of different positions, etc. I think that is a brilliant way. And again, I wish I was much better at posing. This is going to be a toy photographer's dream, in honesty, guys, with the accessories, with the amount of places that you can put them in, with the detail, which I haven't even looked at, the detail around the midsection, etc. And as I say, on the wheels, yeah, by the way, I didn't mention it in the other mode, they are actually rubber. As I say, the die cast I found is definitely in the feet, and as well as, of course, in the main joints. That's die cast, which slides these up and down, and again, you can position the doors in lots of different ways. I definitely think I've I hope I've covered all bases. If I have missed anything out, then obviously it shows you what a great toy this is, and the fact that there is even more things that you can in fact do with him. I want you guys to let me know what you think of him in the comments. For any of you who've got other experience in bingo toys, let me know how good they are, if it's worthwhile me picking up any others to have a look at, because I have been very impressed by this. As always, guys, really appreciate your support. Thank you very much for watching this. Let me know what you think in the comments. Take care.